I'm Arthur Perkins. This is AP Gaming Real. Welcome back to episode 2 of On the Tabletop. Sometimes chat mocks me on my own shows, and sometimes they don't. Unfortunately, it looks like tonight is going to be one of those times. If you are watching live, please remember you can multi-Twitch and watch PlanetKhaos art on Twitch with more cams and the battle map and all that stuff. If you are not watching live and you're on YouTube, you can still watch both at the same time on like 2 different monitors and see what's going on as well as the art, because I'm not going to show you anything but the art. That's how I roll. If this is your first time watching on YouTube one of my shows, which is unlikely, but it has happened, you should know that in the comment section, in the description of the video, there will be a thing called the skip button, where if you're on browser and you press it, it'll skip to after our introductions. Now, sure, maybe you don't want to hear about all of our lives, and for me, I'm probably going to talk about video games, anime, and Disney movies, or maybe there'll be some deeply emotional revelations like my mother doesn't want grandchildren. If that's not your thing, you can just press the skip button and jump right to when we start playing. If you're on mobile, there'll be a timer where the skip button is, and you can just zoom along to that time. You're good to go. Look, for most of my cast, I know the people for years, right? And when we get together in these like pre-game things, it's talking to old friends, and that's the only time we get to talk during the week, except for Sid Alpha, who's on all of my shows. So, you know, except this one. But with these guys, let me tell you something. This is only the 3rd time I've spoken with them. We did one pre-game game, then we did episode 1, and now 2. So if they have anything to say, I'm actually super curious, and if you want us to get started with the game, you can fuck off. That's all I have to say. At least I got some laughs out of that. Look, you know how hard... You don't even know how hard it takes me to come up with these intros. It takes me like 3 hours to write the intro for every show, trying to cram in at least one joke. That mom needing grandkids thing, that wasn't a joke though. That was real. My mom this morning was like, I don't actually need grandkids. And I was like, you have ruined my life for the last 2 years. And now you're just going to back down from that. Okay, that's fine. I feel a lot better now.
She just doesn't want to pressure. She's probably still wants grandkids. Come on.
I don't know. I can only go with what she says, right? Like I can't psychologically try to outthink her. She's too good for that kind of shit.
Yeah, way too experienced.
Yeah. Parents worked for the CIA anyways.
No comment on that one. My mom actually did work for the CIA for a little while.
Oh.
Get out of here.
So what you're saying is I'm right.
Really? You don't believe that one? Let me tell you her credentials, sir, for challenging me on that one. My mom used to work at FEMA Mount Weather during the post 9/11 Bush era, where she was part of the team that prepared the Presidential Medical Advisory. She was occasionally dispatched around the country to make sure that presidential bunkers and then like were prepared for any emergency. She worked with CIA operatives. She worked with the FBI. She had top secret clearance and got the daily presidential briefing, which sometimes she left out on a table. And I was like, I'm not touching that. I don't want someone like cutting my hand off. I was a teenager at the time, so I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is some spy shit.
You get ice picked in the back.
All right. Gonna check my mom's credentials. Check.
So what you're saying is I'm right.
Yeah, exactly. Look, let's go around and talk to people. Connor, you were our artist last time. And I wouldn't say you're the leader of this group, but you are the one who wrapped it up in a nice package and brought it to me. Like, hey, Arthur, you want to have a nice show? And I was like, well, you know, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, we tried. We were talking about it for a while, and we put it around with making our own stream for, I don't know, a few months.
Should have gone with that.
Especially. And then eventually I said, you know, how about we get someone that's like actually an expert and knows what he's doing to help us out? So
you're still looking then.
I've been watching your stream for a while, on and off over the years, and just I always really enjoyed it. So I thought I'd just see what was up.
You got anything going on with you this week that you want to share? Life, work,
just
life work.
Taking care of the baby. Got sick last few days, and now I'm trying to not pass it off on her. I think actually my wife's mother, who was supposed to take care of the baby, for the day shift, she got sick, so that was my backup plan.
Yeah, that's going around.
Is that her cover story? While she's
What can I say? It's either that or it's a new boyfriend. Who knows? But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Just been having a sleepy baby on my lap and just watching YouTube, I guess, because you can't really do that much otherwise.
A life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. But when you have stuff to do, kind of anxious. Kind of makes you anxious.
Look,
A lot of work.
You have to talk to me about anxiety, man. People come in and watch my Elite Dangerous streams, and they're like, "You haven't even gone 300 light years from home yet? You know the galaxy's like 30,000 light years across." And I'm like, "Okay, look, all right. I'm afraid to go outside. I get shot every time I leave the station." They're like, "It just happened one time," and I was like, "It happened twice."
You gotta try out Star Citizen. It could be.
It's now a thing.
Oh, Star Citizen. Sure, if I want a game that's never actually going to release, I'll play Star Citizen.
Isn't it more exciting to wait for something that looks really good than necessarily play something that's kind of disappointing?
I don't, you could say that, but then Kingdom Hearts 3 came out today, and now, who knows where we're at.
Never thought that'd come out.
I know, right? 13 years.
What was it? Kingdom Hearts?
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, Kingdom Hearts 3. Okay.
I think there's been like 13 Assassin's Creeds that have come out before.
Well, that's just because they got to release 2 a year in order to keep that Ubisoft money going.
I'm just saying, time has passed.
Time has passed. There's so many new Disney properties, they couldn't fit them all in.
Right?
I mean, as far as Assassin's Creed goes, they probably went from the Crusades all the way to like the modern time, and then back again to the ancient Greeks, right? Like,
They keep circling around piracy.
Yeah. Well, the pirate game was very popular, so makes sense.
All right, you got anything else for us, Connor?
Not me. No, that's about it. I mean, I've been picking up a little bit of drawing here and there, but yeah, just been taking care of the house.
All right, Bearded, you're drawing for us tonight? Is that who we got?
Yep.
Excellent. What else do you have when you're not drawing on this stream?
I'm drawing for other streams like my own, and doing commission work and just drawing all day. Just trying to make it a profession rather than just a hobby. Try to do it 24 hours a day instead of going back to the retail that I've been doing for 16 years. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Look.
I just feel like, it's such a sad story.
Retail is a sad story, man. Let me tell you.
It really is.
Well, how's your comic coming along?
It's good, actually. Finished the ink, so I've started coloring the first 2 pages of it, and then I'm working on...
Why didn't you lead with that story? What?
See...
You know us, Mick. We always go to like a negative first.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, it's kind of bad. It's like,
That's the artist way.
But yeah, so I finished coloring the couple of first pages of that, and then I'm also working on a 10-page story for an anthology series. So I'm working on that right now too.
is that the one you were going to flat?
No, that's the Kung Fu book is the one I'm flatting. The Cyberpunk one is the one that is for the anthology.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, working on some cool stuff. Just trying to keep busy.
All right. Planet, as always, PlanetKhaos Art, you are dual streaming right now, showing some stuff. What do you have going on this week that you'd like to share with us?
Well, I'll go over where you can find me first because I don't have anything new to share. I'll share something, but we'll wait. I'm trying to start with the positive instead of the negative, just to kind of break that pattern there. So anyone who cares to find me on Twitch, I'm PlanetKhaos with a K. On Instagram, I'm PlanetKhaos_art. I'm here because I'm trying to make that transition, a multi-year transition to be an artist full-time, just like these other fine artists. But in the meantime, I've decided to become a professional driver. So that's what I do with my time until I actually do what I really want to do.
Like race cars?
Yeah, I wish.
Stunt driving.
Yeah. If only it were exciting.
Is it Uber, like that kind of thing, or is it
Uber, Lyft, and even Domino's.
okay?
So I drive a lot every day until I can not drive ever again.
Yeah, I
Driving
did.
over there is a little bit crazy in where you're at, right?
It's a fair living, I'll tell you that. You know, once I figured out the routes to go on and the best times to go, it's a pretty fair living. So
I did 50,000 deliveries with Domino's through college, which means I drove more during college than most people do in their entire lives. And I have to tell you, uneventful driving is way more exciting than exciting driving, because when it gets exciting, I'm normally just a string of curse words.
Oh yeah. Anything goes wrong, I'm glad no one is in the car with me.
Heck, when things go right, I start cursing. I'm from Jersey.
Oh no, Jersey drivers are the worst. That's the worst.
No, Pennsylvania drivers are the worst.
No, Jersey driver. You listen to me real quick. I have been pulled over once in my entire life. It was on the Garden State Parkway in New Jersey for going the speed limit.
That's exactly that. That's an offense.
Yeah.
You gotta be going 80 on that
I
thing.
wish it was a joke, but it's not.
Yeah,
The
you're
cop
not
was like, "Are you on drugs or drunk?" And I'm like, "No, I'm going the speed limit." And he's like, "Are you sure you're not on drugs or drunk?" My mom's like, "He's just going to see his grandmother. Look, here's his registration." I'm like, "Put that away. You didn't ask for that. I'm not drunk. I'm not on drugs. I'm just driving the speed limit."
Yeah, you gotta go 80 on that thing. That was your mistake. The true Jersey driver does not drive the speed limit on any of those major highways.
True Jersey driver. I once had a guy have an accident on the New Jersey Parkway, was driving backwards in front of me faster than I was going forwards because his tire blew out. And then his car kept flipping around, and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to go right around this dude. Whole car shifts to the right, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go left around this dude. It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, he didn't want you to pass him. That's what happens there.
No, he had absolutely no control of that vehicle. It was very clear to me that thing was just all over.
Yeah, that's why you gotta back up.
Go Jersey.
Yeah. My wife's seen someone completely have their top half of them removed. She saw an accident like that, and it was awful. I mean,
Yikes.
yeah, it's
Top half
crazy.
of my car is where my face is, so I prefer to keep that right where it is.
Now this person was literally their top half was cut in half. Like their top half was out the back of the window, and their front was still in the seat. She had to stick around and like give a a talk to the police officer. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, way to bring us down, man.
Yeah.
Well,
To bring it back all around, that might be us later. So you said the idea.
might get eviscerated.
I was feeling good about this game, but now
The thing that I'm going to cut in half is the party morale. Also their hit points. Planet, you got anything else going on?
no, sir. That's my pitch.
All right. Speaking of the person to bring us back up, the one person on the show who might actually be a bard in real life, Mccomicker, why don't you tell us about which small pet you're going to injure this week?
Oh my god.
Well, I drew a pretty good penis today. And I was like, oh shit, like they don't even like nipples on Twitch. I better cover this up. So then I had to draw a smiley face right after that. But I mean, that's about as exciting as my life gets. Some days you can draw penises, and some days you can't.
Man, I'm so glad I don't have a quote bot. I feel like that would just that would probably end up being like number 69 on the quote bot list right there. 100%. Like, guarantee it.
69%.
But like all my social stuff, which is just Twitch and Instagram, is Mccomicker. And just working on a penis book. That's what I do right now.
All right, you have to get paid.
You right? Yeah.
I know.
Next week it's gonna be furry penises because that's where the real money's at.
Let me tell you something. I think you need to talk to this guy in my chat called Zonalar, who also does art full time. He's into that kind of stuff.
He's into the furry penises?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think I could do the furry penises, I'll be honest.
This conversation is gone. Yeah, this conversation is gone at an angle I did not think the intro would go into.
That's what she said.
Wow, really? Can you name one time she would say that?
Okay.
Are we good to get started?
Yep.
I'm gonna assume that we are because no one's answering me. I feel like maybe we're all looking around.
I feel like we said all we can say at this point.
I mean, maybe some of us have said too much.
We're gonna get you some strikes on this thing already. 5 minutes into the intro.
Oh, look, don't worry about that. If you want to talk about getting strikes, we should be talking about Cancel or literally any of my other streams. This is almost nothing compared to some of the shit that I've had to do. Sometimes I go live and there are people that are just like, well, I'm not wearing pants right now, and I'm like, really? I literally just went live seconds ago. All right.
Well, luckily you can always edit things in the YouTube.
Luckily, the camera's only waist up.
Yep.
There are many times where I'm glad for that. Many times. All right. Let us talk about, and by the way, I don't edit the YouTube. I probably should at some point, but I don't. Our story tonight begins with a familiar-looking bard sitting with a steel string guitar around a fire at a darkened campsite. There's a beautiful night sky surrounding him and kind of a desert wasteland in every direction as he's looking into the fire and begins to play softly. We recognize this bard as being the bard that you have met in the tavern. I even had his name ready, but then I flipped to another page. Halleck, the bard of the Badlands. And so as he plays, he says, I'll tell you a tale tonight. A shadow over Apple Valley. A shadow in 3 parts. The first shadow is the tomb of the unknown king, which sat over Apple Valley, casting shade upon the 2 rivers and those that live there. An ancient dwarven lord, some say the greatest that ever lived, some say the first that ever lived. Within that tomb, there were dark horrors, which beset the minds of the people of Apple Valley, and that is the second of the shadows. Every night they would come in 1s and 2s, taking the young adults, those who had reached maturity and beyond, disappearing, never to be heard from again. But following now, through the mountain, through a secret door, away from the spicy summer air smelling sweetly of apples, into the rank darkness of the mountain. Follow me past the 2 dogs, licking the wounds of a 3rd. Doors locked in haste. A party retreating through the echoes of battle, covered in blood and the smell of fetid stink. The shadow lay upon their hearts, exhausted after a day's travel, adrenaline seeping from their body. The light of the human bard's spell beginning to fade. The knowledge that should they not survive, not only would no one come to save them, it's likely no one would ever speak of them again. And that is where our tale begins tonight. And that's when whoosh, the flame of the fire kicks up, and we find ourselves in a room with 3 closed doors and 1 open door, as Kazador holds the southern passage, and the remainder of the party catches their breath. What would you like to do?
Guys, I think we're kind of fucked.
Falcon had gone south and through that tunnel to the...
Yes.
Okay.
So, just as a reminder, I think I have an effects thing here. They went like bloom, 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 bloom through that door.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, did that work? There we go.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's hard to tell with these things.
Mhm.
Sometimes
Yeah,
they work, sometimes they don't. Let me turn on some horrifying atmosphere music in the background.
So is the door Kazador next to, is it closed or is it
That door is open. That is the only open door. Kazador has said he's holding the door and watching.
Yeah.
You could change that status at any time, of course. That's just my notes from the last session.
Yeah, the last time the door is open because I want to see if anyone comes.
Yeah. I want to listen next to this door and see if I hear anything.
Let's see.
Now everyone's pretty wounded. How do you guys want to deal with that?
Yeah, I recommended a short rest, but that's like about an hour.
It is an hour, in fact.
Yeah.
I don't think we got that kind of time.
Mortrick, why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check at that door? I don't know, I think that spooky music might be a little too loud. A 10. You put your ear to the door. Beyond, you can feel through the walls and through the door an occasional vibration, but you don't hear anything.
Alright. I'm going to relay that information to the party with the addendum that I think they have the base up a little too much, but I don't think the party has started.
They're doing their warm up. Okay, so I have a request though. It's blacked out now, but there was a third door in the room that's above us that I don't remember if we ever listened to.
That's correct.
We listened to it, but no one went through it.
You know what? I'll unblack things out. Well, because I can just keep stuff on the GM layer, actually, so that you can't see it when I put new things there. Yes, there was a third door you never opened.
But we listened next to it, and I don't think we heard anything either.
No one ever listened or opened that third door.
No, yeah, we didn't check it at all. You guys went back.
I went over and listened to it, but I rolled super low.
You listened at this door over here.
Oh yeah. What? Where? Wait, that's the third door. He's
talking about this door over in the upper right.
Oh, in that first room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd like to go listen to that door just to make sure.
I want to ask Runa if she's heard anything next to her door.
Okay. So Kazador, you're holding there. Mortrick, you're holding there. Runa, what are you doing? You've been requested to listen at this other door.
I am pulling the arrow out of my side that I got hit with last time.
Get out of the way and let me do it then. Come on. We're on the clock.
By all means.
Rik-Jaxx.
Sure.
As you retreat, you have to open the doors behind you. You move to this other door. As you re-enter the kind of open area, the 3 dogs are there waiting for you. The other 2 dogs are laying next to the unconscious dog, licking its wounds, and when you open the door, the 2 begin to growl and move to defend the 3rd dog.
All right. I'll close the door.
Okay, so you're just closing this door right here before
I
you go
think
to
you'll be fine. I think you'll be fine. Just don't go next to the wounded dog, and you'll be okay.
What? I mean,
and also, you're welcome, because if I hadn't stabbed the dog, they would have charged you immediately.
Rick, why don't you try calling the dogs down? Because I'm 2 rooms away.
No, I don't think so. Not with 2 hit points. So sorry, guys. So there we go.
All right, so before you ever make your way to the 3rd door, you find the dogs waiting for you, and then you close the door and head back out, unwilling to face the wrath of the canines.
Not at this time.
So lads, we're stuck, I think.
Well,
We've got dogs behind us. We've got goblins in front of us.
Runa takes care of her arrow.
What? Should we rest up, camp out for a little bit, catch a breather, and then go forward? Or what do you guys want to do?
I don't think we have time.
Let me listen to this door real quick. It was perception?
Yes.
We should probably just go around stealthily.
Mortrick, as you listen at that door, there is a occasional echo. It sounds like someone scraping a weapon along leather, like a shh. at a great distance. And you're hearing it, again, echoing, so it's like a long shh with varying pitch. It seems to be coming from a distance and traveling through some great space.
Right. So I think there's a pretty big room in there. Maybe someone's getting ready for dinner, so are we hungry?
I like that's your go-to. Someone's prepping dinner.
This isn't looking good, fellas.
I think, well, since we saw them go down the hall, we should pick one of the other doors, because I'm thinking is that they're going to go get their friends. So it's not a door we want to go into.
What kind of doors are these? Are these barrable doors? Like, are these just flimsy doors?
So these are quite sturdy doors that would befit the Champions Hall of a dwarven hold. They are made of wood reinforced with iron bars, and they do all lock, and you're on the locking side.
Okay.
And it's a bar lock, you like slide it over to keep the door from opening.
Right. So I'm going to try and open this door as quietly as possible.
Excellent.
Prepared to, at a moment, shut it and relock it.
Okay. Make a stealth check.
18.
Yeah. All right. You slide the door along its hinges. As you do, it opens into. If you'll remember, this particular room has been defamed.
Right.
It's been damaged beyond recognition, except for the elephant on the ceiling. And there are piles of bodily fluid and waste product in a corner that are stinking up the room. When you open this, it is a pristine, beautiful hallway that advances about 7 feet forward before turning down another tunnel. The sigilry here is completely intact.
I'm going to tell Runa, because she's standing right next to me. All right, I'm going to go take a look. If I come running, don't lock it. What I'm saying is don't lock it till I get back, all right? I'm not, don't leave me alone, okay? Don't save yourselves. Wait for me to save me with yourselves, okay? That's what I want.
Lock it, got it.
And then I'm gonna go forward and just try to peek my head around the corner as stealthily as possible.
I want to remind you that you have your light spell following you everywhere.
Oh, I thought you said it faded out. Oh, that was his light spell. Yeah, okay, never mind. Okay.
It wouldn't matter because you can't see in the dark, so you need light.
Yeah. No,
so you peek your head around the corner, the shadows dissipate as you find another hallway that extends 20 feet down. The dwarven runes here, completely intact along the floor, depictions of cheese all along the walls, and a volcano explosion is depicted along the ceiling. Everything here has been done in finely crafted dwarven work with micro tools.
Okay. All right. Does the noise I heard getting louder, quieter? Has it stopped? The sharpening noise?
It continues. It is getting slightly louder, but it's clear to you it's still at some distance.
Does it seem very rhythmic now?
Yes, it is regular.
So maybe it's not a person. All right, I'm going to walk a little less cautiously because I am certain of my invulnerability.
As any recently not graduated college student would.
Exactly.
A 15-foot hallway opens up.
All right, so then I'm gonna come back to this corner and explain to Runa using only hand symbols.
Do you speak human sign language? Is that a thing you've encountered in your time?
Yeah, I just waved my arms at her.
You just flail wildly. You peek your head around the next corner.
This is like Russian roulette, man. One more corner.
One more. This one's gonna be the corner.
there is a lopsided tunnel. So it's not. So I know the map displays it as being very, angular. It's not. It is in fact kind of sinuous and snaky.
So it's okay.
As you peek your head further and further around, you can see that there is a door at the far end of the hallway, just at the edge of your light.
Okay. So now I am going to come back, and I'm going to ask Rik-Jaxx, which door did you check out? The one with the dogs or the one in the big room?
I was heading back to the dogs' room, and they're awake and guarding their wounded one, so I didn't go in that room.
Well, so, because I was thinking this might hip up to the other room in the big room, because there's a door there we didn't ever do anything with, but it doesn't. It's another door. So, do you want to head back and check out that second door in the big room?
I think we should do whatever we do as a group. So I don't mind checking that door if the group thinks that's what we should do as well.
Do it.
All right, let's go back. Let's check the doors.
Okay, I'm going to shut and bar this door.
Because we can bar these doors, and if we can't bar them, maybe a short rest is doable.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to bar my door.
Yeah, let's shut and bar these doors. Go check out that door, and then short rest before we check out that door.
So you're barring this door, this door. Are you barring all of them?
We'll bar all the doors except for the one that we're going back through.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are you retreating to?
And how many goblin bodies are there?
There are 2 goblin bodies, and then you also killed 3 cultists.
Okay, I want to take... And the cultists were human, right?
They were halflings.
Halflings? All right, I'm going to take an arm and a leg off of...
Here it comes.
Goblin body and one halfling body.
Okay.
Make friends with the dogs.
All right, and then I'm just going to, open this door up enough to toss the limbs out to the dogs and be like, good boys, you're good boys, yes you are.
Make an animal handling check at disadvantage, because the dogs know that you're the one that stabbed the other one.
They were asleep at the time.
But they can smell the blood of a canine on your rapier.
I saved that dog's life.
You got a 6. You toss freshly... Let me ask you a question first. Normally I don't need to ask this, but how did you get these body parts?
I have a little knife, so I think I just kind of sawed and
it is going to take significant effort, and you're covered in gore when you go and throw these out. The dogs look at the garbage you basically throw at them. You get the idea that they don't eat dead halfling or dead goblin. They just kind of look at it, and in the way that dogs can do, they look kind of confused and then resume growling at you.
Man, I'm gonna shut the door, come back in here and say, I think maybe if I just throw them a bone instead. How long do you think it's gonna take to clean them? Oh wait, there's bones in here.
Yes, there are.
All right, I'll get that on the way out. We're good. Let's check this door.
Maybe let someone else handle the dogs. All right. Let's just try and get through this door here.
Don't you think they like me?
Kazador, as you're standing near that door, and you guys are chopping body parts up, you hear actually Runa hears it as well because she has excellent passive perception. You hear a the deep guttural growl of some animal coming from that southern door, echoing through a corridor.
All right, fellas, let's not mess around. I'm gonna open this door. You guys ready?
Okay. All right.
We are gonna open it. Okay.
Yep. Let me do it. How many do we think are in there? Did you hear one? Did you hear multiple?
We just heard a guttural noise.
So before you go too much farther, just for my own sake, I want to remind you, at some point, I think you guys were going to stop and rest, but now you You keep jumping between plans. Don't let me stop you, though. I just want to remind you, you haven't done that.
All right, I'm down for a rest, everyone.
I'm feeling
Or
a
you
rest.
could chase the giant wild animal growling noise. I mean, that's probably a thing you should be concerned about.
Hey, look what's over here, guys. A nice place to rest.
Are we gonna rest up?
Well, at least this room is better than the gore-filled throne room or main hall of this desk.
But there's no
Yeah,
extra
can't
door.
find it.
You have a whole open hallway, just to be clear.
Okay, well, I can stand guard. I'm not hurt. I assume that's not gonna harm me in some kind of fashion.
You can remain wary during a long rest, yeah? Sorry, a short rest.
Short rest.
Let me look at the
Okay.
short rest rules real quick.
'Cause my character isn't hurt, so he doesn't need to roll any dice. Because
That's true. Yeah, you don't even need to care.
Yeah.
Short rest, downtime, 1 hour. You do nothing more strenuous than eating, drinking, reading, and tending to your wounds. All right, so let me get a collective vote. Are you all parking yourselves in this room filled with dead cultists that at least one has been chopped up with a small knife? Poorly. To rest for 1 hour, lick your wounds, that kind of deal. This art coming along is bitchin' as hell, by the way.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's amazing, man. And let me just say, like, your Runa pick and those Rik-Jaxx picks, those are fantastic, guys.
Yeah,
I just like the action stances here.
Yeah, the whole posing is great.
Sorry, I interrupted the vote. Yes, no. Resting? Show of hands.
All right, you guys. I know we're like being maybe overly cautious, and just so you know, my chat is screaming "No guts, no glory." Just want to pass that on. But I think that square room, because it can be locked on all four sides and barred on all four sides, is a little bit easier to defend. So I just want to throw that out there, but I'll go with the group.
If they smash through all four doors, it's not going to be easy to defend, my dude.
Yeah. I say we open up this door and take out what's ever in there first.
More specifically, it's me. Hey, Luke.
Yeah, I mean, like, as long as he takes the lead, I mean, keeps his attention, I think we'll be fine. And then we can all use the rest when we're all actually injured, instead of, you know, someone who decided not to fight earlier.
All right, fair enough. So I was overruled with logic and illogic, but let's go with it.
Well, this room at least has some dead ends. The other one has a 4 entry, and we have enemies on all sides potentially.
I'm sold.
Okay.
I'm sold. Let's do it.
So
We can pile the corpses up in the corner, or I can be doing that as I'm standing watch, I guess.
No. I'm saying we open this door and fight what's here, and then rest up.
Oh,
I'm not thinking that one.
yeah, no. Let's just rest, and let's just. We can always rest again if we have to.
Yeah.
I think we've rested twice in one day. I mean, I usually only take 2 naps if I've had a heavy meal.
So, I have good news for some of you and bad news for some of you as well. The good news is that anybody that's taking a short rest now can use their hit die to recover some hit points. I know for some of you that's a very serious concern.
It is.
On your character sheet, there should be a button for hit
Yeah,
dice.
it's under the
recovery.
main part, and
Yeah,
then
under
the
core
character
stats.
sheet, core stats, scroll all the way down, and then
Yeah,
the
you-
second bit on the right says hit dice. You could use that.
Yes.
Wow, I really
Okay. Yeah.
like-
Mortrick just recovered maximum amount of hit dice possible.
Oh man, I only had 3 gone. Damn
Well, you know, those extra 6 are like blessed prayers.
And I got 1.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Rik-Jaxx,
Okay.
in the most desperate need.
Okay.
Kazador.
It may only be 1 point, but that's 30% more than I had 2 seconds ago.
That's.
Renee, you gonna
I mean, in some ways, what you're saying is true. In other ways, it's more like 50%. But that
Well,
depends on how
yeah,
you look
I
at
got-
things.
I got the point across.
Yes, exactly. Kazador, I have bad news for you. Really, the most terrible news. You've been working nonstop as the adrenaline begins to drain from your body. The fact that you haven't really had a rest at all after a day of travel and murder, you are being hit with a level of exhaustion.
All right.
So, on any ability checks, which is like when you use skills, you now
Okay.
roll at disadvantage.
All right.
So like jumping over stuff, lifting stuff, that's bad. Making saves and attacks, you're still good, completely normal.
Okay.
You're just
Oh,
really
Okay,
tired.
That's not bad.
After 6 levels of exhaustion, you fall over and die.
Okay, we'll avoid that one, I guess.
Yeah. The game doesn't really like it when you stay up for more than 6 nights in a row.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I guess
All right, so my plan here, guys, is that I'll open the door, and I'm gonna have a sleep spell prepared. And if, well, whatever in there seems actively hostile, I'll try to put it to sleep, and then we can just pile it and slit its throat, like we should have done with those dogs.
Mortrick, stand, open the door, and then immediately leap back and have that spell ready. Meanwhile, Runa and myself, we can stand by the side and clobber anything that comes through that door. What do you guys think?
I like your use of the word clobber.
Yeah, clobber.
Clobber? Yep.
I think because you said clobber, it's a go. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. So
You can have your spell ready, but your first thing should be backing up.
backing up. So to
Your bait.
hold the spell, if I hold it but then don't use it, I still lose it, right?
So which spell are we talking about?
It's sleep. It's a level 1.
You know what they say, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yes, if you begin casting a spell, you cannot, I mean, someone's going to correct me somewhere, but once you start casting something,
Right.
unless you're ritual casting it or one of those like multi-action ones, once you cast it, that's it. You
Right.
can't just like hold it and throw it at a later time.
Right. So like if I open the door, like if I said I'm gonna prepare it, open the door, and hit whatever I see with it, then it would be gone no matter what.
Yes.
But if I just open the door and back up, then I would
Then we
not-
roll initiative if there's anything there.
Yeah. All right. So I'll wait until. Yeah. So I'm just gonna open the door and back up. and
You're
I'll
not
wait
just going to be
for-
like, crack the door open and be like, sleep!
At anything and everything that's in the room.
I sleep the darkness.
You know, the old school way to do things is to have your gnome illusionist cast an illusion of the door. Then you open the door, your party sees through the illusion, and anybody on the other side doesn't, and so now you've got like a one-way mirror.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
It just
There
costs
you
a
go.
spell slot every time you do it.
Yeah.
Also, you need a gnome illusionist, which you don't have.
So do you guys want me to put anything to sleep or just open the door and back up?
Just bait, like scream and yell and let
No, don't do that.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna not do that. But I'm gonna open the door as quietly as I can, just a crack, to get an idea of what's on the other side.
All right, so you have left the Goblin Champion, or well, the Goblin Champion's room now. You've come back to the murder room where you murdered a bunch of people and then chopped up their bodies.
Yeah.
You crack
yeah.
open the door, and you see another hallway leading in a southerly direction.
I'm so tired of this place, guys. I'm so tired.
All that work for a hallway.
Is this serpentine like the other one?
At
Yes.
least you guys had a rest.
Yeah. A rest of one. Let's go.
It was nap time for everyone. It's not my fault you decided to stay up.
Someone have to guard the door.
I'm gonna move forward in the hallway.
No, okay. You're
Yeah.
gonna take.
Let's pick one and go.
Yep. We've got so many paths.
All right.
I have to tell you guys, I find it very attractive when a strong lady protects me.
As you creep forward, Runa, you hear a snuffling sound.
I'm gonna stealth over this door and see
Okay.
see if I can hear anything.
It is not that stealthy because Mortrick is behind you and he's got the whole place lit up. It's not like you're, super visible, right? Like you're like keeping to the shadows, but it is a hallway, it is a tunnel, and there is a giant light source behind you.
Fair enough.
It's for a race of people that can see in the dark, it is rough for you. It's real rough. You can see through this door, through a little, like prisoners area. There is a giant bear waiting on the far side of the door that's prowling around. It notices you and begins moving closer towards the door. It's not like it sees you exactly. It's making snuffing noises. It can smell you. It can smell all that blood. It can smell all the dead bodies you chopped up. It's moving towards the door. It's going.
Help me go get some more bodies. I'm great with animals.
No.
Lordland's beard, let's close that door.
So the door is locked from the other side. Someone has barred it from the far side with the bear.
Oh,
Okay, so
So even if you wanted to open it, it's not going anywhere without some significant movement.
That bear can't go through the hall.
I'm out of here.
So the bear can squeeze through the hall,
Okay.
but it will take its significant effort, right? It'll move at half speed. It won't be as good at fighting as normal. Runa sees the bear and then just nopes out back over to the Goblin Champions Hall. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna close this door behind us. This one.
All right.
Gore room. And then we're gonna go back to the actual disgusting room.
I open this door.
Okay. You open that door. It swings wide. Another 15-foot hallway awaits you in your immediate future. Here, all of that defacing that the goblins have done has stretched into this hallway as well.
This is where they're going to be, fellas.
Stay here for a second. I'll call you if I.
You want me to here? I'll kill the lights.
No, keep the lights. I just don't need them around me at all times. So I'm gonna go over here and kind of stealth around the corner.
So I'm just gonna kill the lights for now.
Let's have you make a stealth check real quick that I'll just
Let's
keep
do
as your
that.
like passive stealth to use. Hit me with that science.
What's my stealth?
Kill the lights.
+2.
Gosh, that song's old now.
Yeah.
Wow, 21?
nice.
21?
It's amazing
Yeah.
what I can do without a light source.
Yeah,
and,
you just
Mortrick
disappear.
around me.
You're like a
I
freaking
feel like I'm
ghost.
being
You notice a simple wooden door. It appears that it forms into the doorway perfectly. No one like cut this wood. It just kind of looks like a solid sheet of wood that just boom, doorway. That's it. There's no like wooden slats. There's no like nails or anything. Just like a perfect archway.
I touch it to see what it feels like, and then I listen to the other side.
When you touch it, it feels warm for a moment. Then the door, like there's a seam down the middle of it, and the door shh and opens in front of you.
Amazing.
Now, just to be
gonna
clear,
tap
your passive perception is 15 still, right?
Yes.
As soon as this door opens, you happen to notice that there is tiny, small holes in the walls on either side of you, and that there are certain flagstones in this area right in front of you.
Okay.
There is definitely some sort of, if you step on the wrong thing here, things shoot out of the wall and kill you. Kind of
I'm so
trap.
glad Mortrick isn't here.
On the
gonna
far
check
side, there's a revolving door
Oh.
on the far side of the room. It seems like for some of your party members, it might be a little harder to get into.
Yeah.
Kazador is the correct height for it. Your deep known Rik-Jaxx, also kind of the correct height.
I am not. I'm assuming.
Mortrick, kind of a bit too tall, you know, not too wide to fit in it successfully without some significant squeezing.
So I definitely wouldn't be.
I'm not, look, I had this the other day. I'm not fat shaming Mortrick. He's just like 2 feet taller than everybody else at this point.
I'm also like 6'5", so.
Okay, yeah, you're also very tall.
I feel like I'm being attacked a lot.
You're not
this
being
game.
attacked. It's
I'm
just
gonna-
that this is a dwarven
Why
place.
does nobody
It's
like
built for dwarves. They
gonna
didn't.
try to-
They didn't make it accessible for humans because it's a dwarf-only fortress.
I'm gonna try to get through there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's make
Are you
it.
gonna try and dodge all
How?
these traps?
Let me ask you a question. How do you get through the trap zone?
Acrobatically.
Okay. All right. Make an acrobatics check at advantage. So that's rolling 2d20s and taking the better one.
2d20 plus. Ooh,
Okay. Well, I have bad news for you.
it's a 10.
Yeah. All right. So you're, you know, it's late. You kind of took a couple hits earlier. Your nerves are on a fray. Mortrick comes up behind you out of nowhere. You get startled, and that one place you're not supposed to step on the Ilth rune, you just get, you know, like part of a foot on there, and it sinks in, and out of nowhere, there's poison needles begin flying at high speed. So I need a Constitution save.
I can do that. Let's see here. Let's do...
Oh boy, that's a 1. That's a 1 on the die, which is definitely not what you want to have happen. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and make this roll here.
Gonna roll a new character real quick.
Oh man, I came up with my new character today. He's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be amazing when I die.
What is your AC?
I think it's 15. Yeah, it's 15.
Okay, so that definitely succeeds. All right. So the good news is that when the needle strikes you, it only really?
Yes.
It only deals 4 points of damage. The bad news is that you're also going to take 2d10 poison damage, which will
Jesus Christ.
probably put you down and could kill you. Yeah, 13. All right, so what's your current hit points?
3 and then minus the 13, so 10. So I'm dead.
You're completely dead.
Yeah, that's.
So what's your
because
total?
my
What's your maximum
max-
hit points?
My max is 10, and it takes me to 10.
No, you're good then. One more, and you would be totally 100% dead.
Oh, so if I'm over the 10.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has to be over that. You are one step from instant death. This poison hits your veins, your whole body just seizes up, and you fall onto the ground foaming. There are needles everywhere around you. Mortrick, you just watch Runa go in. You come up behind her. Your light just casts a little bit of shade on her, and she turns.
I killed my light.
Okay, she turns when she senses your presence, and then she gets hit with the needle. And now there's just needles everywhere. You run away as she's lying bleeding on the ground?
I would come back and be like, guys, I think Runa needs some help. Does anyone know anything about medicine?
All right, Runa, that's 6
feel like
seconds. I'm going to need you to make your first death saving throw.
Oh my God, let's go get him.
Just quick pro tip, don't roll a 1 on this as well.
This is why I like rolling Turkish. Oh, God.
All right, that's your first of 3 fails. Rik-Jaxx, you come charging up to help Runa. It's not so great in there. Runa is rolling around on the floor, foaming at the mouth. She's got like this weird, it kind of looks like patchwork of black stuff on her face.
Okay, see, is Runa within reach of me without me entering the room?
I mean, you can like grab her feet and drag her back in.
That's what I'm going to do.
All right, you drag her back in.
Okay. Now, do we have any, we need a stabilizer, I bet, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
That's why I asked if anyone had taken any CPR classes.
So how do we stabilize her?
You will need to make a medicine check. Or any amount of magical healing will instantly stabilize her. Or there are certain spells that will also instantly stabilize her. I don't think any of you have those spells, though. Like stabilize.
All right, so
Spare
I'll
the
start
die.
first. What do I roll to do that medic check?
It's the actual skill is called medicine.
Does anyone have medicine as this? Is anyone proficient?
You don't have to be proficient with it. You do, however, need to make a 10.
Right, but I mean, can I assist to give advantage?
I got it.
No need, Rik-Jaxx. You haul Runa back in, and you're just pulling the needle out. You're like, CPR! She doesn't need CPR! Start wrapping the bandage. You like pull the poison out. Slap a wound on there. Runa, I need you to roll 1d4, which is how many hours it's going to take for you to get back up with 1 hit point.
Ooh.
Right. In 4 hours,
Fuck.
you will be conscious again. Rik-Jaxx,
Literally the worst rolls.
your mouth tastes of terrible bitter poison and Ganassi blood, which is kind of, it's kind of minerally, like high iron content because she's an earth Ganassi.
Yeah. Seems like it'd be tasty. All right.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's tasty. I mean, maybe for you that's tasty.
I'm gonna say
Kind of tastes like eating copper pennies.
Man, that is weird.
So, okay. First things first. Are there any spare needles? I want to grab them up if they're on the floor or whatever. So
Yep.
I want to scoop them up.
Yep. I mean, there's several additional spare needles.
All right. So I'll grab them all and stick them in my pouch.
Okay.
Now, guys, now do you think maybe we should leave the dungeon and kind of do some recuperation?
I mean,
We still have those dogs to deal with, but yes, I think we need to.
because someone should have killed the dogs earlier.
And,
Listen, I'll go out and talk to the dogs again.
how about you stay here with Runa? I'm gonna grab the. I don't know if that's such a good idea. Do I have any? Like, what exactly are my rations? Like,
That's up to you. I mean, like normally rations would be something like lembas bread, right? Or in medieval times, it's probably going to be more like hardtack and some sort of like a very small amount of salted meat.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll grab
And coffee.
one of these. One of the pieces that Mortrick sewed off or sewn off, and I'm gonna open up the door and see what's up with these dogs.
I'm gonna look at Runa and say, "Do you think they like Genasi?"
Runa is unconscious and says nothing. In her sleep, she feels like you said something stupid to her. All right, Kazador.
To be fair, that's all of the things that he says.
Inter-party rivalry already. Good stuff. You got to have it for the t-shirts so they can be on opposite sides of the t-shirt, staring at each other with like fists of anger. Kazador.
Mortrick is a divisive figure already. Yes.
You open the door. You're preparing to throw what at these dogs? A ration?
The arm of the cultist, or was it the deep gnome? Not the deep gnome, the goblin.
I threw out goblin and cultist.
You've thrown out a number of dead body parts at these dogs.
But you already threw them out?
There, you open the door. They're still sitting there next to the dogs, who go from licking their downed companion to all turning and bristling.
Okay. Actually, now I think about it, Rik-Jaxx, maybe you should do this animal handling thing, because I have disadvantage. I'm kind of exhausted.
I'm dragging Runa's body with me because I'm not very strong.
Okay.
You're not gonna fireman carry. You're just gonna like take the legs.
I mean, I think if I tried to fireman carry, then I'd probably throw out my back. And
That's true.
The biggest one in the group.
Yeah, she is 6'5". All right.
And Runa's knocked out, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
so I apologize as her head bumps over the flagstone. Sorry.
Okay.
Actually, drag her head through the gore and all the poop in the room too.
All right, Rik-Jaxx.
Okay.
Show me
hate
your
to say
dog
it, but I
whisper.
think we just need to pick these dogs off. So are they still on their chains?
They are not on the chains. Runa cut them off of their leashes.
All right.
If she dies, this is now her fault.
Wow. That's a
All right, so
bold
how about-
assertion.
How about if Kazador is able to do a block of some sort, and then I can start shooting the dogs from behind him with crossbow?
Wait. I can maybe put one of the dogs. Let me try. So one dog is out, right? And we're going back to town. So let me try and put both dogs to sleep. and then
All right, get your butt up here.
see what that does for us.
Oh my god, if I was here, I'd leave for 2 seconds.
This is what happens when you fall asleep on the job.
Right?
All right, so you're casting sleep on the dogs?
Look, I'm going to say going through all those poison traps, not the smartest idea for the largest member of the group.
All right, pause. Hold on.
Time for a commercial break.
Yeah, I was going to say, now that we're paused, do you guys know
Sorry.
that Ant-Man and the Wasp is on Netflix now?
Yeah.
What?
I'm excited. I cried.
I'm actually going to watch it
yeah.
now.
I gotta watch that tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't going to, but now I will.
It was good. I
On the
really
other
enjoyed it.
hand, they added Solo on Netflix, and I have no one to see
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I watched that? Yeah, jeez.
Well, the only
Yeah.
thing I want to see is the Star Destroyer in the Storm. That looks super dope during the trailers, but that's like the
Yeah,
only
it's
thing I
so
want to watch.
awful.
The
though.
graphics are amazing, as usual. I mean, like, they also nailed, just like in Rogue One, they nailed the Star Wars, early Star Wars aesthetic of, like, that kind of dirty future.
I want Lando Calrissian with the cape. That's what I'm saying.
All right, so
You'll get your cape.
Will I? Oh, interesting. That
Yeah,
might have
yeah.
actually got me to watch it. I already didn't get a cape, so now I'm like, oh shit.
Mhm.
Definitely has that.
All right, talk to me about dog whispering. Except your dog whispering is more like sleep.
So, okay, with the
Sleep.
sleep spell,
Yep.
it's roll 5d8.
Yep.
The total is how many hit points of creatures the spell can affect. Do
That's
I
also
add
correct.
either my modifier or my spell attack to this?
Nope. You just roll 5d8. You have enough to put all the dogs asleep.
All the dogs are asleep.
So what does your casting of the sleep spell look like? Do you thrust your hips and go, "It's my birthday"? No, not that one. I've only had one warlock
Yeah.
ever do that.
No. I'm just gonna open the door and I'm gonna say, "No, you're not tired. That's bullshit. You're lying. Now go the fuck to sleep."
All the dogs immediately just sideways, except the one who's already sideways.
All right. I'm gonna pull out my sword. I'm gonna turn to Kazador and Rik-Jaxx and say, "Listen, we had one chance to do this right earlier. I'm saying let's do the smart thing this time."
The camera begins to zoom in. As Mortrick moves on the dogs, it tightens on a rear shot for him. The music goes very dark until
Wait,
it's
wait,
just a
before-
single stringed instrument.
I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna say I also think that if we attack them, they wake up. So unless we're like guaranteed to just like slit their throat, then they come back at
Well, how deep asleep are they?
They are regularly asleep.
us. Yeah.
They could be waken up by being shook or being attacked.
So we couldn't
Okay.
pick them up and bring them outside.
You could pick them up.
But that would wake them up.
I mean, you'd make a roll.
Yeah.
It'd be just like picking up a sleeping child or a sleeping dog,
Why don't we just try to slip past them?
There's still the kill them again.
Bad. Okay.
If we bring them outside, then they're gone, and we haven't killed them. We could also just kill them.
Or we take them outside. Well, first we pick them up, they wake up and kill us. We pick them up, we get them halfway through the tunnel, they wake up, they kill us. We pick them up, we make it all the way through the tunnel, we let them go, they wake up, they come back and kill us. We take them
If we
outside.
kill them, if we kill them, we get experience points.
I'm not sure if I'm not quite sure if I understand you, Rik-Jaxx. What are these experience points?
You just get insight. Okay. quick though. What do you guys want to do, man?
Unless we're like guaranteed one shot, one kills, I say we try to. I mean, we're gonna have to buddy system carry Runa out of here anyway. So
I think we get 2 attacks, and tell me if I'm wrong, right? Because they're prone, and then, or would it be initiative for that second attack?
So them standing up isn't going to give like a reaction attack or anything like that. Look, you're making this way too complicated. If you guys want to slit the throats of 3 dogs,
Just fucking do it.
well, I'm not gonna like micromanage this. It just happens.
Yeah,
I'm saying we do it. All right, I'm drawing my dagger. I'm saying
The camera resumes, tightening in on Mortrick. That single note begins to play again, but it gets like deeper and more morose. Will anyone stop this man before he murders a bunch of dogs?
No.
Kazador is basically down to you.
No, I guess not.
All right.
Not worth the risk. We can't.
We just
party.
We just skip to the three of you exiting. There's a little bit more blood on Mortrick's boots as he drags Runa by her legs out.
Is no one going to help me with her?
I'll take her. I mean, you're the tallest, Mortrick.
But I'm the weakest.
Who's the strongest? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm the
think
strongest.
she's passed out right now.
Yeah, I'll pick her up. I'll somehow fireman carry her with my 4'5" body.
Her head is still dragging on the ground, even though she's on your shoulders.
I guess like this, and it's kind of like one of those poles, or like Arnold Schwarzenegger carrying that tree on the back.
You drag her successfully back to the town.
Okay, we're exhausted now, I'm sure.
Well, you're exhausted.
You're exhausted. You're already exhausted.
Yeah. Okay, we bust down the tavern door.
You bust on the door of the Broken Thorn.
Yeah.
Immediately, several of the people that were sleeping at the hearth like jump up. They're all like drawing weapons. They're like, who's there?
Just us.
At least one of them has their pants down and is just like stumbling around in the light of the fire.
I'm gonna
Take it easy, guys. Take
Let's
it easy.
forget it. Go back to bed, and I'm gonna cast my sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, roll 5d8. Oh, I want to know who you could put to sleep in this tavern. Wow. Okay. Yep. You get all the travelers except for the other bard. The rest of them all just like, okay, just give me, and then they thud to the ground. It like they're gonna be damaged tomorrow morning. They took some injuries from that, but the bard is still like standing up, and he's just like,
I'm just gonna like.
did you just try to cast enchantment magic on me, partner?
It was more for their benefit than yours.
You're not nearly powerful enough to pull that crap off.
Hey, I'm gonna go over to him. Do you know any healing spells?
So he's like, as a matter of fact, I do. And you know what?
Seems like it might be a good idea.
Do you see our friend here, Runa?
So he turns toward Runa from across the room and he says, sagebrush. And then he plucks his guitar. One like C note. Runa, you immediately wake up.
I'm gonna
You have
Rik-Jaxx and say, I get the shivers every time.
you have 1 hit point.
Up with one.
Runa, you okay?
How you feeling, Runa?
Like I just got dragged halfway across the city.
Yeah, that was all Kazador. I'm so sorry about that. I tried to get him to pick you up. But...
Sorry, you actually have 4 hit points.
Okay.
Very charismatic.
What happened? I remember this guy scaring the crap out of me.
Well, let me just say, there was a trap, and I guess you were just, a little slow to catch on.
I knew there was a trap. I was trying to get through it, and then you appeared.
Well, I mean, let's not be hasty. I thought someone might be sneaking up behind you, and I was coming to your assistance. Plus, you were taking a really long time.
Mortrick, I think I vote from now on you stand backward from people that...
Bygones, be bygones, get a good night's sleep, and then go back tomorrow and hope, they've completely forgotten about the events of tonight.
You realize I don't take anything you say as truth, right?
And we may have killed some dogs.
I'm going to say, Runa,
What?
I would only ever lie to you if it was in your best interest.
I would hope you would never lie to me.
What if it's in your best interest, though? Did you miss that part? I said in your best interest.
I
means
feel
I have your
anything
best
you say is in your best interest. But that's besides the point. We need to talk to somebody in the town if there is a guard, we need to put it up. Because I'm assuming we left before the job was done.
Yeah. They're gonna be super pissed. Yeah. Our job just got much harder, I think.
All right.
So thanks for nothing.
Sort of a side thing. How many needles did I get?
All right, so you have 4 poison darts. The longer these darts are exposed to the air, the more the poison begins to degrade.
Okay. But I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and tie off the 4 darts onto 4 different bolts, for my hand crossbow.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'll keep those in reserve, and maybe they'll work, maybe they won't.
All right, let me know when you're shooting one with the poisoned bolts.
Okay.
And mark down that you have 4. Okay. All right. Unexpected. Very good call.
All right.
All right, well let's rest up, fellas. What time is it right now, roughly?
Like 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Yeah. I'm about ready to collapse, guys.
In the morning,
All right.
Thank you.
you all wake up to the smell of boiled eggs, millet porridge. Several tankards of ale have been set out. It looks like the rest of the travelers who were staying here have all completed their business and are either out and about town or have just simply left. It is just you and the tavern keeper Iris. In the corner, Orin, the young dwarven mace saleswoman, all of her gear has been piled by the door.
Right. Orin. We have to go back and get her.
When you say that, you notice the shadow outside of the Tomb of the Unknown Kings, and you know it's definitely mid-morning at best. Also, Kazador, great news. Your exhaustion level has worn off, as long as you have something to eat and drink.
Yeah. Well, innkeeper, can we get a meal or what?
So Iris is just like, oh, sure, you want a meal? You just wander in the middle of the night, leave a trail of dead dogs in your path, disappear one of my customers.
We're here trying to help your town.
Are you now? I seem to recall several of my customers giving testimony that you used magic against them.
I don't think that occurred at all. That was early in the morning. That must have been one of those shadow monster things that come along. That wasn't us.
So she sets out a bowl of millet and several boiled eggs. They are runny and disgusting.
I like runny eggs.
Well, then you got exactly what you wanted.
Yeah. Kazador is happy. He digs in.
Oh my goodness, Tice, that is the worst pun I have ever heard. When a group of cartoonists fight, it always ends in a draw.
Oh. I like it.
Oh, it's like being punched in the kidneys over and over again.
All right, so while we sit and eat breakfast, I'm going to put on my serious face, and I'm going to say to my companions, listen, there were some mistakes made last night, and moving forward, we need to admit that the 3 of you messed up.
Oh my God.
We need to do better, is what I'm saying. We need to do better, okay? So I need you guys to get your head in the game.
I'm sitting like right next to him, and I just push his head into the food. I think less talking on your part would be better for everyone.
Mortrick, unless you want to try to stop this in some way, you're about to have a face full of millet.
I'm gonna take a face full of millet because I feel like I'm in the right, and if Runa refuses to see that she's wrong, then that's on her. Is the bard guy still here?
So his gear is by one of the blankets along the floor, but he's not in the room.
Okay. I'm going to ask the tavern lady if she knows where he went or when he'll be back.
She's like, what do I look like? A hotel? This is an inn.
I mean, kind of. Is that a trick question? I don't understand. Is she a dwarf, right?
No, she's just a salty human.
Oh, she was a human?
Yep.
Yeah.
Those damn salty humans.
Okay, look, let me be straight with you. I think he's wandering around somewhere, but that's how those adventuring folk go.
Yeah, they are like that. They're super flaky. Can't be relied on at all under any circumstances.
So she slams your thing of ale in front of you and is like, checkout is at noon. When the shadow passes over top of this establishment, you either need to pay up or get out.
Well, I have good news for you, possibly even better news. So the first bit of good news is we're going to be heading back up to the mountain, take care of your problem. We could all die. I know you would love that. I hope it doesn't happen. And it means we probably won't solve your problem. So let's focus
Anything
on...
you leave here when you die becomes property of the inn.
That's fine. But what I'm saying is, oh, wait, we come back. That would be a bigger problem for you. Okay, so what we're going to try and do...
No, if you come back, that'll be fine too.
We're going to try and solve your town's, goblin problem or monster problem.
She's like,
whatever.
shh, keep your voice down.
We're going to try and solve the monster problem. I'm just going to say the problem with air quotes. We're going to solve the problem. All right? But it turns out it's a little tougher than we originally planned on. Now, I was curious, do you have or know anyone who might have some, potions we could use to help us that might be willing to sell them to us on credit?
I'll tell you what. Such a person does exist in this town. They might have some potions. Probably they won't. But you can do it as a favor to me. I have a whole wagon full of maces I need sold.
Of maces?
Maces.
She gestures outside, where you can see through one of the windows, Oren's cart, filled with specialty crafted dwarven maces.
These are fine pieces. You don't want to just sell them.
I'd be like,
Where do you think I'm going to sell them? I
Mason.
live here. I'm not going to haul this shit anywhere. You need to take it to Bacchusson.
Bacchusson?
Bacchusson.
Where's Bacchusson?
Bacchusson.
Bacchusson?
He's by the South River, by the lake.
How far is that?
Wow. I'd say
South
it's a
River
few
down
minutes
by-
walk from here.
By the lake.
By the
How
lake.
many, like, these are massive maces, so how
Yes.
many...
So, I mean, there's a cart, obviously.
There's a cart. Okay, so we're going to be like mules pushing this cart along if we do it.
Exactly.
All right, so that's going to be exhausting.
Well, good thing you rested up, isn't it?
Well, but then we're about to go off and fight. Fight. We can't be
This
exhausted.
just turned into like a whole spring break adventure kind of thing. Today we're doing maces. Tomorrow, I don't know.
We
Probably
thank you for the
Maybe
information.
goals later this week. At
I go
some
outside to the
point,
cart.
back to It's not today.
Are
The
you
cart.
feeling better? How are you feeling after that? All that poison? Are you in tip-top shape or still a little bit of queasy?
Every time Mortrick talks, I feel a little bit worse.
I'm gonna punch Runa affectionately on the shoulder and be like, "I appreciate a good sense of humor." All right,
I glare at you.
So
We got-
while these guys, if I may, while these guys are still yapping away, I want to go check the gear in the corner of the mace chick.
When you do that, Iris is like, "What are you doing? Stop touching that. That's mine.
How is it yours? It's the
Anything left here becomes property of the inn."
Yeah, she said that. before.
But you said if they die, it becomes.
She's
property.
definitely dead.
How do you know that?
Anyone
not
who
dead, she's
disappears in
poor.
the night here is definitely dead.
Dwarves don't die that easily.
If we find her, then we're going to come back and get this stuff.
Then I'll return it.
Okay. All right.
And we got directions from her where these go, right? And they're all going
Yes.
to the same person,
Yep, to Bacchusson.
to Bacchusson. Okay. All right.
All right, so the good news is that all of you have all of your hit points back as well. And you get all of your hit dice back.
Yay!
And there was much rejoicing.
So it takes you about a half an hour of pushing this cart southernly, but you find a farmstead enclosed by a fence where several horses roam. But there's also a massive, like, half barn, half, like, smithery. So obviously the barn is, a massive red A-frame structure. But on one side of it, blocked by the wind, is this smithery with, you know, 2 forges and a number of barrels and plenty of like raw materials lying about. And there's a man that's there, like cutting his hand and pouring his blood over a sword, who silently like turns and watches you all push this cart towards his barn.
I'm say, are you Bacchusson?
Aye, 'tis Bacchuson's armory you've come to.
Well, we have great news from you. We've just come from the inn up there in town, and we have a load of maces here to deliver.
Aye, so you're from the Broken Thorn then?
Yes, that's the name of the place, the Broken Thorn.
And these are for Iris's credit.
Yes.
Well,
But
let me
make
finish
sure-
up with this sword and I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, but you got to keep a hold on them because we don't know if the owner's dead yet.
Disappeared in the
this is
night?
This is the wagon.
But the wagon's full of maces.
Right, like I'm assuming he bought the maces from her.
We're the first persons to come to him with this information.
Yes. You're selling the maces right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like taking like a paintbrush and spreading his blood up and down the sword. Look, I don't have time to argue with you or anything like that. It's not like I'm going to move the maces today. If the woman reappears, I will return them to their rightful owner and discount the credit from Iris. But when you disappear in the night around here, we don't speak of them again. So I'd appreciate it if you didn't mention this.
I have some experience with blacksmithing. I'm wondering, I've never seen anyone put blood on a sword like that.
Aye. Have you ever seen a magic sword been forged then?
No.
Then you are watching it right now.
Wow. Okay.
This is a Bacchusson Triple Crown. The High Prince himself has commissioned this for his Minister of Finance. I pour all of my essence into all of my swords, and that is why I am granted not 1, not 2, but the Triple Seal.
You must like this town to be such a famed smith. To be
I hate
working
it.
here.
Lived here my entire life.
So they come to you.
I know that.
Ah, the High Prince comes from far indeed.
Wow.
I have a license to work with him instead of the Baron. So you get the idea that he would like to like adjust his vest and look super proud, but in the process he still has to like keep painting the sword with his blood. So it's just kind of like a one arm, like.
You're impressive indeed. Well, maybe when we come back after settling your problem, you can help us out with some equipment.
So you're adventurers then, or
That's right. Yes, we're here to
Heroes.
take care of your problem.
saviors, perhaps?
You can call us what you
I
like.
mean, I don't like to, oversell it, but yeah, Saviors is pretty apt. We made pretty good progress last night. If your problem isn't
That's
fixed
why you
by
spend your time during the daylight hours delivering maces, then.
Yeah. Hey, also, there was some mention made of like some healing potions possibly in exchange for the maces.
I have an emergency supply.
Yeah,
Certain-
so that would be great if we could take a couple of those off your hand.
Do you have the money to purchase
we have-
such rare items?
A wagon load of maces.
These do not belong to you.
They belong to the lady who runs the inn.
They do. And when
Yeah.
Iris tells me that she will pay for your healing potions, I'll believe it.
Oh, absolutely. Because the lady who owns the... Oh, wait, we don't speak of them. So,
That's the labor that we brought this card here, and that's what she promised us for doing that.
Okay, let's be clear here. Is this what you believe, or is this what you're trying to get this guy to believe?
I thought that was some of the impression that she was going to give us a hookup.
Her hookup was sending you here.
Oh, no.
You asked her where it could happen, and she said, I will let you make a delivery to that location.
yeah, no. The maces are yours because even if we come back with the lady who we're not speaking about, she already missed checkout time. And I was told previously today, if you miss a checkout time, your shit's forfeit. So these are hers. Now they're yours. And we just like a couple of healing potions if we could.
All right, make a deception check to bamboozle this guy into thinking that you are getting credit from Iris.
About how much would potions like this be normally?
So normally they'd be about 50, but note that he said that these are part of an emergency supply. Yeah, he does not believe your shit at all. So he like takes the sword out and like flicks it, and there's a fine mist of blood that floats off it in the weirdest way that catches. It's like water catching the wind and spraying off, and instead it turns the sword from like a bar of iron into like this weirdly rainbow sheened Damascus steel with like wavy folds. And he's just like, hi, looks as if the magic has taken in the sword, just a little more forging now.
Mortrick,
What did you say your name was again? Oh, foul-mouthed artist of bullshittery. I don't believe you for a second that Iris would credit her account to you. You seem far too glib.
I turn my back to him. I sort of like whisper into Mortrick's ear, like, Mortrick, let's just pay the man.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my coin purse and say, my name is your price.
Enigma.
70 gold pieces. I could let go with one of my healing potions.
All right, guys, let's back it up. Let's go home. We're gonna go die.
How much do we have? I forget. I don't think I have that.
Each of you has about 15 gold pieces.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of you are going to have less than that because you've been spending so far.
Yeah.
I've got 10.
Yeah.
I think I kept all my gold.
And I want to remind you that climbing gear is already on credit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right.
Climbing gear you don't need and haven't used.
Well, if we can't interest you in purchasing some of these maces, then I guess we're gonna take it back with us.
No, the maces are for me. You leave them right there.
We found them on the side of the road. They're our maces.
You told me that they are from Iris.
Yeah, and then when they left the inn,
I can see what a natural 1 deception check looks like for you.
It's not pretty.
All right, fellas, let's just walk back here. Good day, sir. Maybe we'll be back when you're a little bit less rich for our blood.
I look forward to seeing you again.
On the way back to town, when we're at a safe distance, I'm gonna say, "You think we could take that guy?"
I'm going back for the sword.
Oh man, gold. The healing potions were $70. I don't think that sword's in our price range. Oh, unless you're saying we're gonna kill him for the sword.
I'm not talking about killing.
The only reason we didn't get anything is because you lied again.
I didn't lie. That is how I understood the situation.
Story arc.
All right, fellas, let's make the trek back. We've eaten. We have a little bit of credit with the innkeeper.
Let's give it another go.
Let's make our way back.
Okay. All right. You make your way back to the entranceway.
Wait, when we get back to the inn, is the bard guy back yet?
Halleck?
Yeah.
Well, we
Yes.
technically didn't go back to the inn yet.
Well, it sounds like you're going to have to pass the inn in order to head
Yeah.
back.
Right.
Halleck
as we pass the
is
inn,
there.
I was-
I mean, you can hear him playing the guitar inside the inn.
Is your first name Gurney? Hey,
You want to know if his name is Gurney Halleck?
Hey, Alec.
Yeah, he's an owl of the desert.
So if Gurney's there, I want to.
His name is not Gurney, it's Halleck.
Halleck is there. I'll be like, hey, Halleck, bard to bard. I admit that, like, I'm not real great at this. It's a learning curve that I was unprepared, frankly. Do you have any tips, tricks? How hard is it to teach someone a healing spell? Do you have any healing potions? I'm after medicine of any kind. Do you have anything?
So he stops playing for a moment and says, well, it's not super difficult in order to teach people, but as a bard, I'm going to guess that your breath of inspiration probably is already taken up. You've filled your mind with spells already, correct?
I have.
I suspect that even the simplest healing spell will be beyond your kin for now.
Yeah. I
Well,
really
partner,
thought I'd
look,
do
if you
a
just...
different line of work.
All you have to do is concentrate very, very hard on getting one the next time around. You seem like you're on your way to either dying a horrific death where no one will remember you, or
That seems most
somehow
likely.
succeeding despite your own failings.
Yeah, that would be nice, but I'm not holding my breath.
I don't think you could hold your breath for very long.
It would not be very long at all, no. But do you have any, like, I mean, even just like maybe a steri strip or anything.
He says, well, here's the thing. How much money do you have?
I am down to... I still have 9. I have 9 gold and 5 silver.
So he pulls out a scroll and sets it on the table between you and says, this is a scroll of healing. Basic level stuff. I practice with these every few days just to make sure I keep up. It's outside your price range by a lot. A whole lot. I'm willing to allow you to borrow it. But I want your story. Success or failure when you come back, you only tell your tale to me.
Deal.
And if you die in there, I get to make up whatever I want.
That's probably going to be a better
He holds
story.
a hand out for you.
I shake it.
All right,
Just
so
out of
he slides
curiosity-
you this scroll.
How does that work? Like, because does that mean
So if-
Mortrick can't tell the story of like our adventures later down the line?
I mean, I want to remind you that at the beginning of the episode, he was telling the story of your adventures down the line.
That's true. Yes.
So as long as what is the spell called? It's not healing word, it's the one that's not crappy.
Cure wounds.
Yes. As long as you have cure wounds on your spell list, you are capable of using the scroll to cast cure wounds.
Okay.
At,
So even if I don't know it, if I can burn it, I can
even
use
if you, as long as it's on your class's spell list, you can cast it as you would normally cast a spell here.
Okay. Understood.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, this scroll is worth more than like your entire party's combined monetary value. Like this is like a rare, ancient, like super strong thing, and he's like, I just make them every few days as a joke, just to stay in practice, you know.
Just keeping the...
He's like, this is my RGRK. It's my warm up sketch.
All right, as we then are on our way back to the mountain, I'm gonna sidle up next to Runa and like hold out the scroll and say, let's be honest, I probably shouldn't be trusted with this.
You're learning.
Say, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'll take it from him.
And be like, please don't die, but please also use it on me if I do die. Thank you.
There's definitely more to this town, fellas, than apple farming. We've got a renowned blacksmith that's forging magical weapons, and a bard who apparently can conjure up, scrolls of power out of nowhere with the greatest ease.
I want to point out that
They're
guy's a
happy to
traveler,
do it.
though.
Sorry?
Halleck is a traveler.
Yeah, that's true.
He's not
but
local.
He's still here,
Yes.
Yeah. Gurney's from out of town. I don't know why he's
His name is
here.
Halleck. Still Halleck. It's always going to be Halleck.
All right. Well, I guess now we're getting a little bit clearer of a picture of what happens here.
All right.
So
Let's
just to
head
be
back.
clear, Runa, you can't use this scroll.
Okay.
In fact, I think I know he said that he couldn't be trusted with it, but he's actually the only person in the party that can use the scroll
Right, but
because he's the only one that can cast spells in the
I
first
won't
place.
use it, at the wrong moment this way. It's like a gun safe. When I need the gun, I'll know where I need to get the gun.
What if your gun
Sure.
safe is in another room surrounded by a pile of poison needles?
Well, I guess I'm never gonna leave the gun safe alone again, am I?
Fuck. I hand you back the scroll. I throw the scroll at you. Oh God, get it away from me.
Wow, Mortrick looks so sinister in this drawing. He's the least heroic looking person in the party.
Yeah, it's great. This drawing looks fantastic, Bearded. You really pulled it out, man. Looks so great. Love it.
Okay, you re-enter the scary dungeon. The dogs, best not to mention. When you re-enter, however, where you thought the dogs would be, they're gone.
I bet they got 8. Remember, there's another way out of here because we can climb up to get in. So this door is not the only way in, which means we could be murdered at any time.
Yeah.
You definitely could be murdered at any time is the only part of that I'll confirm.
Yeah, that's D&D, my dude.
Yeah, or the bear came out, had a snack.
Do we want to check on the bear before?
I think we should.
Do you want to go back to the Runa room first, or save that for last?
First, I'd like us all to roll stealth.
All right.
However, Mortrick can't see in the dark.
Yeah. So, like, I'm gonna need. I will not use the lights to begin with, but it's gonna be a buddy system.
All right, so you're buddying up with someone. Who is it?
No one's gonna volunteer? That hurts.
Do the rope.
I stand near Kazador.
All right, so let's have everybody make their stealth rolls. If half the party succeeds, the ones who succeed will cover for the rest.
Yeah, I rolled.
Yes, you failed. A 10 is also a failure. A 4 is also a failure, which means no matter what the last person rolls, you will have failed. However, Rik-Jaxx just nails it. Nope, also fails. Okay, all right. You guys enter. It's complete darkness, and every few steps, Runa, can you see in the dark?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
No. Okay, so I didn't think Eric or what? Yeah, I didn't think that Earth Ganassi had dark vision.
Yeah, I don't think Ganassi.
So every few steps, Mortrick or Runa just like runs into somebody, and there's a lot of like bumping noises and rustling and rope snapping and whispered apologies.
I'm gonna cast lights.
Yeah, this is stupid.
Dancing lights.
So Kazador, what's going on here? I see you.
This time
I guess I was just messing around. I'm walking at least to here.
All right, the door there is closed. All the doors are closed again.
Yeah, I'm gonna open it up.
Lights this time.
Okay, you open it up.
Middle fingers flipping off the dungeon.
Nothing's happening, so
This door is different from before. When you begin approaching it, you notice that there's fire damage at the bottom of it. Someone has set the wooden part on fire and put it out.
What do you make of this, guys?
Before I follow him in there, I want to listen next to this door since we didn't get a chance to
Okay.
do it yesterday.
All right, so you're going by the third door in the entrance that no one had ever opened.
Yeah.
All right, Mortrick, you do that. Rik-Jaxx, Runa, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna follow Kaz.
All right, because Kaz has asked for input. Rik-Jaxx,
Yeah.
what's your plan? Stick with Mortrick or go to Kazador?
Closer with Mortrick, but have the other two in sight.
All right, okay. You're playing support. I got you. Mortrick, let's have that perception check. 21.
It's pretty good.
Not bad.
So you listen there for a while, Mortrick, and there's nothing. And just when you're about to pull your ear away, your body is untensing. You're preparing to, get out of a squatting position. You hear the single clink of a coin echoing.
Okay. I'm going to, even though I have lights on now, then going to. This door is locked still, right? Or
You have not tested the door
these
yet.
were not locked from this side. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna walk away from the door. I'm gonna wait for Jax in, join the other group, and then let them know I suspect there is someone in that other room. I don't know how many people, but there is also money, and I think that might be important to us on outside of any outstanding student loans.
I think we should get through this first and worry about the money later.
Yeah. this point, we've made promises. We got to start cashing them.
All right, Kazador, pick a door.
He's made promises.
All right. Well, we're gonna go through this door here first. So I guess I'm gonna open the door. You guys good with that? All right. Since we're not being stealthy, I guess I'm just gonna bust it open.
We are. We're just not doing a good job at it.
Okay. Well, I open the door. I crack it open. Fine. I crack it open. I peek what's inside.
It is locked from the other side. You try to
Okay.
open it, and you slam it against the bars, and you're like, oh, shit.
Oh shit. All right.
Jesus, Kazador, are you trying to make more noise?
This is the result of your failed stealth check.
Yeah, we're gonna have to either go through the bear door or go through the coin door.
Well, I mean, you can always try to open this door. You
Let me
have an
try to
expert
pick
in
the
door opening with you.
Yeah, there's two.
Oh, okay. It's locked in the kind. I thought it was a bar mechanism. which
It
I-
is, but you know, you can get like wires and such.
Okay.
I got tools to handle that, you know.
Yeah. Oh, do you want
Yeah,
this
he's like the
one?
Vanilla Ice of doors opening.
Wait, is the door opening?
I mean,
No,
you
I
can
haven't
try to
tried it.
open the door.
Yeah, let me give it a
You,
try.
you want to try this one, Rick?
All right.
Okay, I get the
Yeah,
next one.
if you don't mind. Yeah, I'll give it a
So
try.
it's going to be your dexterity and your proficiency for your toolkit.
I moved you, Connor. I'm sorry.
So I just click on the button of my thieves tools.
Yep, should work.
Okay, and I have, what is that called? I have expertise, so hopefully that'll help. And I just want to see the roll here. Here we go.
Good luck. Yeah, 24. Quickly, quietly, you just like get your tools in there, and in like 10 seconds, you have lifted it out.
Hey, Mortrick,
Yeah.
pick up your jaw. It's okay. It's fine. It's okay.
Oh,
All right. So open the door. You know, we'll do the typical crack the door open. What do we see or suspect?
The room that previously had been defiled with fluids and waste and garbage and at least one dead goblin body is pristine.
Who's cleaning up after us here, guys?
It's still defiled insofar as everything's been scratched. There's stains, but all the actual garbage is gone.
Yeah. All the poop, right? All the shit.
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Blood, guts,
Yeah.
Runa
that good
blood
stuff.
stains along the floor.
Someone's
Yeah.
keeping up this.
That's my stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go into the room.
wait.
What?
Do we need to check for traps? We don't want Runa to die again.
Well, Runa's got the passive perception. I mean, she would
Yeah,
have to
and
roll
what
it.
did
Right?
that do for her last time? Her ass still got
Her
murdered.
passive perception caught the traps.
Yeah, but then she still died.
Well, that was a
Because of
different-
you.
That was a different check. Yeah, because you were falling behind.
Hey, we need
Runa, make the call.
Go ahead. Go forward.
to get out of here before one of those things kills Guy.
All right, Rik-Jaxx, you slip into the room. As you begin looking around, Rik-Jaxx, you notice that the bottoms of all of the doors have some fire damage.
So they must have used fire to immolate the whole place.
Try and get out.
So-
like
When they were locked.
But who cares? Why would they care about cleaning up this room or I guess sanitizing this room? What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm not really up on my goblins. It was an
I don't.
elective. I did
Well,
not.
there's goblins and
Take
occultists,
it.
so maybe there's some kind of demonic magic happening here.
Cultists are weird, man. You can't predict what cultists are gonna do.
Seems like a stretch. Let's just keep going.
Yep.
Okay, we should keep it in mind. Someone's got some fire magic here, probably.
Maybe.
So on the doors, the fire, does it look like the fire was in this room or outside each of the individual doors?
Why don't you make a perception check real quick? Actually, make an investigation check. That is the correct way to go about this.
All right.
As you get in close and look at the bottom of every door. Wow, that was almost a 20. That's the saddest part. And then it rolled over to a 2.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not an arson investigator. These doors are singed.
All right.
I think someone lit a fire here.
Hey guys, so could I have a request? Who's going to be our official point person? Is it going to be Kazador or Runa?
Why does it have to be official?
Depends on if
Oh,
we're
guys.
going in hot or going in I guess stealthy.
Well, I'd like to get to the point where we can have someone that can kind of pick the door, and we can,
Well, you're the door picker.
I will pick the lock.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you mean door kicker? I'm the door kicker.
You're the door kicker.
Opener.
Yeah. Runa's the one that stops all the darts for the rest of us. So we
Yeah, she's the biggest target.
He's the meat shield.
All right.
I
want to check out
this door.
What do you guys think? I want to check out the left door.
I want to check out this door.
All right.
Oh,
So-
that door's locked, so we have to check. We have to unlock it.
Runa just opens the door and goes past. Oh no, what's happening? Not going.
That door does open.
No, they were all locked. All the doors. He said all the doors were locked.
But they're locked from the inside, so they're very easy to open.
Yeah, this one.
Oh,
This
sorry,
is the room
okay.
everything's locked getting out. Yeah.
Okay, then I guess we're going down this hall.
All right, Runa, that door is open when you come up to it.
Okay.
I'm
gonna follow. So I think the order should be Runa, me, Mortrick, and Rik-Jaxx.
Everywhere here.
What's your HP, Rik-Jaxx? Like, how sturdy are you?
Rik-Jaxx?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was. Wait. What am I? I was reading something.
Like, do you want to be the caboose, or do you want me to be the caboose?
I think it's best I hang back because I have range weapons that I can probably shoot from back here anyway.
Yep. Let's try and check out these rooms.
Okay, lead on, Runa.
All right.
Advance.
So, Runa, as you begin advancing, the hallway in here appears defiled. However, it also is immaculately cleaned. So, as you've gone down this southern tunnel exchange, you turn east, and the tunnel continues to just writhe serpentine northeast and then south again.
This whole time, I'm going to be pestering Kazador, who's just in front of me, not to fall too far behind because Runa got hurt real bad yesterday. And we need to keep an eye on her. Okay, so just try to keep up with her. All right.
All right, we'll do.
Check around that corner.
Maybe I'll just try and be a little bit quieter and not cast my light around corners like you did.
Well, not all of us can see in the dark.
This place is a labyrinth. I think Cass is getting a little bit nervous now.
As you round the next corner, there is another door here. It's a simple wooden frame, just like all of the doors you've seen so far, but there's no iron reinforcement on it.
And it's not singed? Is it
Go
not
up and listen.
All right, you go up and listen at the door. Make a perception check.
What's my perception?
I'm going to shut the door behind me.
Okay.
Is it locked from the other side, Rik-Jaxx? Or from our side?
There is no lock on this particular door.
Okay.
Okay.
11.
All right. Just need to check something.
If you're dead.
Damn it, Kazador! I told you not to let Runa die.
I wasn't sure how literal the character
All
placements
right,
are.
Runa. So, here's what happens. You go up and you listen at the door. You know that your party has been making some noise for a while, despite its best efforts. And when you listen at the door, you become aware of someone breathing on the other side of the door, listening back.
I figured as much.
You're both listening at the door to each other. And you hear him whisper. He's just like, Esta tenenuere. Una.
I turn around and I go like this.
On the other side of the door, we see the camera look at a darkened figure going like this.
Runa, bust it open.
I fucking busted open.
All right, as you swing the door open, the guy on neither party is surprised here. Everybody is aware that a fight is about to go down.
All right.
On the other side, there are a group of humans who immediately, one of them strikes a rock and it fooshes into existence a light. They're all super prepared for this fight. And Let me get that nice. There we go. Initiative tracker.
Right.
All right,
Should we all roll?
Yes, indeed. You will need to have your token selected, and yep, that'll do it.
No, I think I rolled for Rik-Jaxx. Sorry.
No, Rik-Jaxx is a 10.
No, that was me roll. No, okay, sorry.
No,
I'll get you at it, Kazador.
That's okay. Just
It's all right. I'll get you there.
go for it again.
There we go.
See? Aren't you happy with that?
Above
Yeah.
a 10, that'd be nice.
That's an 11 as well. Runa
Wow, I
and
roll here.
Mortrick always together. All right. As you swing the door open, your enemies, who all have bucklers and just like cloaks and tunics, they don't appear to have very difficult armor here. I mean, they're basically, you're wondering what the hell they're doing here if they're ready to fight, but they're just have like a piece of wood around their arm, and that's it. Also have spears, and that's it. Just extremely basic equipment. The first one is going to step in the way of Runa, and they all begin launching spears at Runa. Now,
Spears?
yes, they are throwing spears. Each of them has 3 of them. It should be noted that they have excellent teamwork. Definitely much better than you guys. And this guy is stepping out of the way to allow his allies to get the shots in while still blocking Runa from advancing. So they have advantage on all of their attacks.
Wow. Okay. Got any spells or anything? Mortrick?
Well, we can't act
Oh.
yet because it's not our turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
All right, so Runa, what is your armor class? As
15.
Ooh, no! Oh no, that's a critical hit on the first one. All right, so this one brushes
Damn it, Kazador,
beside
what did I
your
tell
head. The first spear hits you for 11 points of damage, which will definitely knock you down.
Yep.
Kazador, you're next in line. What is your AC?
Let me check.
Just gonna go ahead and knock Runa over. This guy's gonna step over Runa.
I didn't-
Towards
I
Kazador.
was hoping to like knock that guy back by kicking the door open, but
A 19.
Everyone was ready for that. A 19. All right, so here's
sir.
the good news and bad news. A wave of spears goes through the doorway. This hallway isn't super wide because it's made for 2 dwarves to stand side by side. There's no place for Runa to dodge to. Everyone is super aware that this is about to happen. Runa catches a spear beside her head, and there's a burst of blood from her forehead as she goes down. The other guy steps in towards Kazador and is trying to like push Kazador's shield out of the way to let the other spears come and hit him. At the last second, Kazador manages to turn and get his armor and catches the last spear right before it's about to, hit something vital, like a kidney or an eye.
or your head.
Or your head. Well, eyes are near the head for most creatures.
Including dwarves.
Kazador, it's your turn.
Jesus.
Runa's bleeding out on the ground in front of you. It's not
Alright.
great. And this guy is like stepping over her body and doing like a weird fight dance.
Yeah. Yeah, he's very coordinated. All right. I don't have many other options. I'll just attack, right? That's basically it.
Okay, show me your power.
Okay. Oh.
Okay, so it's still doing that thing where it's giving you
Still doing
guys.
the double up thing.
Yeah, I never actually did figure out what that was. My
I'm
bad.
sorry.
Well, I mean, it's not your
guys.
guys' fault. It's definitely the sheet's fault. I just don't know what it's doing.
Makes me very excited every time I roll because, like, wow.
I mean,
Oh my
look,
God, I'm
there's no
amazing.
doubt you're definitely going to hit for this.
Well, yeah, you still got 25.
Everything I roll is a natural 20.
But it is a critical, so I need you to go ahead and roll another d8 for the extra amount of damage you do on a critical.
Oh, nice.
Okay, all right, that's fine. That's. Some have said that that's like 18 points of damage. I just want to make sure that your strength modifier is that high. So your strength modifier is only a 3, so you should. Oh wait, are you like dual wielding it or something? Is that why it's giving you?
No, as far as I know.
Yeah,
I should be using the shield and the warhammer.
Yeah. So your damage will be 1 less because it'll be a +3 instead of a +4. But the great news is that 17 is only slightly less than 18. Why don't you tell me how you hit this guy for like 2 or 3 times his hit point value and kill him instantly?
I'm pretty stressed from this go, so I'm ready to launch into this thing, draw back, and I'm frustrated with this guy after he's been dancing around me. My character's like, this guy just needs to be put down, and whack him right in the head.
So like these guys seem pretty hardy, like they're I wouldn't say like ripped, but they're definitely athletic, right? They're doing all sorts of crazy stuff in combat. They're kind of like barbarians in a way, where it feels like they could take a lot of damage. But yeah, you just basically kill him instantly with a hugely crushing blow.
Yeah, I knock his eye gets like shot out the back of his head, and then it splatters onto the guy behind him.
There's no guy behind him.
And I make a shout at him like, ha! You know, like.
Oh, it's just disgusting. All right. Yeah. Runa, I got bad news for you. I need you to make that death saving throw. But the great news is if you hit a 20, you get to get up. There's a 1 in 20 chance that could happen. That's not 20, but it is a failure.
Yep.
No, I should know.
Real dice now.
I'm actually super famous for doing these segues, so don't feel bad about this, Mccomicker. But speaking of failures, let's talk to Mortrick. I thought you guys would like that one. Right there. Every week on Tuesdays. Right here.
So he just annihilated one of them.
Oh yeah. Annihilation is a very good word.
But if she crit fails the next one, she's gone.
Yes.
Stabilizer.
Well,
are you really gonna let someone who has this beautiful shirt with these like fang stripes going on here? Like,
I mean, do I try to stabilize her, or do I do I use the scroll?
Just remember that scroll is like at least 100, if not more.
Yeah.
Gold pieces.
Yeah, but if she crit fails, Runa, I'm gonna say to Runa's body, Runa, please don't promise me that you won't try to die next round. And then I'm just gonna make a medicine check to stabilize her.
Okay, all right. You're gonna have to move forward to be accessible to her body.
Oh, because she's there. So I'm just gonna like lay on the ground underneath Kazador's legs.
I'm a dwarf. You can't do that. We could stand side by side though, right? Because this is a 5 foot wide hallway.
It is going to interfere in your all's ability to defend during combat.
Yeah. Okay. What if? I mean, it's too late for me. But if I had stepped forward, would this be less of a problem?
Yes.
Yeah. My bad.
God damn it, Kazador.
Well, I mean, you did jump into my turn a little bit, sort of.
I did not. He asked me.
I did ask him.
Yeah, that's true. No, can't use that.
You put the blame on me.
Yeah.
I'll bear that burden. What do you want to do here, Mortrick?
So I can't move.
Look, if you want a solid snake to Runa, I will absolutely allow Kazador to have his normal defensive bonuses, and you will simply be very easy to attack.
This sounds like a very Mortrick-like decision.
Yeah, no, I'll do that.
All right,
yeah.
You crawl along the ground like the snake you are. No, I feel like that's too much. But you get there. Make that medicine check.
Don't fuck me. Hey.
Okay. Yeah, you.
That's nice.
Runa, gonna need you to roll a d4 there. How many hours you're out? Mortrick gets forward. What's your medicine here look like, Mortrick? Are we talking CPR? Are we talking chest presses? Like, are we just talking like bandaging the wound?
Gotta pick her hand up and like stroke it gently and be like, I don't know shit about this kind of thing, but like, come on, pull through, buddy. Like, you just gotta want it bad enough. You just gotta want to be better.
We'll cut back to this in a minute.
Punch him in the face. That's what keeps me alive.
Rik-Jaxx. There's all sorts of nonsense.
I was going to save these, but I'm going to use one of my poison bolts and hit that guy that's in a straight line.
Ooh, excellent. Why don't you go ahead and make a roll to hit?
And sorry, but that's on weapons, right? So
Indeed.
crossbow. There it is. Here it comes.
Power. That is super low because that's actually only 7. So you fire it, and he gets his shield in the way, and bolt sticks in it. He looks down at the shield. His buckler is actually starting to deform. That poison is like eating away at the wood on his arm, and he's looking. He's like, "What, Una?" Anything else you want to do, Rik-Jaxx?
Is there now? I can't go forward and do a medicine check, right? There's no advantage to that. Plus,
Runa is stable.
That's an action anyway, right?
It is.
Okay. Then I do believe I'm done.
All right. I have very bad news for you, Mortrick. One of the guys is going to run forward over top of Runa's body, and between Kazador's legs, just try to stab you with the spear with 2 hands.
Oh, I don't have anything yet. Okay.
The other guy is going to throw a spear at Kazador.
Okay.
All right. So this is Mortrick. That is a 17 to hit, which I think is almost certainly going to hit you.
Yeah, now that gets me.
Yep. Yeah.
Gets me good.
All right. And then Kazador, that's a 21, which will hit you as well. All right. So it is 1d8 plus 1 to hit Mortrick. You take 5 points of damage. And 1d6 plus 1 for Kazador, who takes 2 points of damage. So Kazador, you kind of strain your back a little bit, swing out of the way of one of the spears. You know, it would have hit you and done a lot of damage if you hadn't dodged at the last second, but you kind of feel like a twinge in your knee. You know, it's, like your body just doesn't move like it did when you were younger.
Yeah, it doesn't anyway, but yeah.
Mortrick, you literally have been stabbed in the arm with the spear. There's some blood leaking out. It's not great. Does Mortrick not have a shirt on in this picture?
I'm gonna put clothes on.
I kind of feel like he's like I'm looking at him, I'm like, is this dude like super ripped?
He's like skinny ripped. Like
He's like he's smiling now. Before he was like villainous, but now he's like, oh, look at me. Kazador.
And he's easily distracted.
I mean, yes. But aren't all bards really? Actually, we're at the top of the round. It's like 13 minutes after the hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I feel like it's time to cliffhang all of you at home, audience. Fortunately for you people on YouTube, you just have to wait for the ad to play on the next video. So for you, it'll happen very quickly. For us, we're gonna have to wait 8 minutes for the second half. Stick around, folks at home. We'll be back. Will they live? Will they die? Halleck will absolutely tell their story. What he says may change depending on how well they do here.